Hey, it's your boy Sir Rod coming to you with the Sir Rod Show. I am on a mission to bring back common sense. I cannot complete that mission without my trusty, dusty, well, not so much dusty, but my my very opinionated sidekick, Just Tori. Just Tori, how are you?
You're not good.
You're not
I know
good.
I'm not dusty.
No, you look very refreshed and revived.
Yes, I am.
How's your week been?
My week's been great.
Your week has been great.
Yes, this has been a good week.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So you got some good things going on in your personal life?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, we want to congratulate you just in being Just Tori everywhere.
Yes.
So, Just Tori, oftentimes we get emails at info@thesirrodshow.com.
Yes.
And so because we've gotten so many questions, I decided it's best to address them at one time. So today's show is Ask Sir Rod.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to have our faithful.
They do know they're asking me too, right?
Absolutely. Well,
I
because
hope so.
because you're part of the Sir Rod show. So it's not just only Sir
'Cause I
Rod.
can leave.
No.
know,
You must stay because in some questions you may need to give a woman's perspective.
Oh, okay.
So therefore,
Always.
yeah, we're going to have our great engineer Phil to ask the questions,
All right.
and then you and I will tackle the questions. Okay.
I
All
like
right.
that.
So Phil, can we have the first question, please?
All right, guys, how you doing today?
Awesome. How are you?
Doing well. Okay, first question here. We have, what makes a woman a hoe?
Mm.
Why can't she be called a player?
Mm. What makes a hoe? And I'm going to assume she's not referring to gardening, although that's such a a more PC politically correct verbiage garden tool. But we're going to say hoe, okay, not whore.
So instead of me calling her a hoe,
She's a player.
I should say, look at that play over there.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Is that the question?
That is the question, correct, Phil?
Correct.
Okay. Why is she considered a hoe?
Okay.
Now that to me sounds as though she's making the assumption that men are not considered a hoe. Which
yeah,
they're
that's what I'm thinking.
right, they're still considered a hoe. So I don't want to rework the question, but
Okay.
she wouldn't be considered a player because this is Sir Rodology. Now, this does not have to work for everybody.
Right,
And
yeah,
again,
no.
it may buy you coffee and donuts someplace, get you kicked out in others.
Okay, let's get
So
kicked
well, let's get kicked out,
out. Let's
right?
get kicked out.
So the reason why I don't believe that it's the same,
Mm-hmm.
one, the woman is receiving. She's not giving. She's receiving. Anytime you're in that setup, the receiver is the more vulnerable one. She can get pregnant. He cannot. Of course, but both could get infected with the disease.
Yeah.
But it's more risk to the woman because men tend to compartmentalize a little better than women do. Women tend to be more emotional. So
Okay.
if he hits and runs, he may not have a second thought about it. Chances are women are not as a whole, the women that I've encountered are not necessarily built that same way. I see it. I see you're biting at the
I
tip.
don't agree.
Okay,
I
so
think that's a valid question because
men and women are not the same though.
you're not the same. However, you're making a choice to sleep with different women. I'm making a choice.
It is a choice.
Men,
It's
right?
it's a choice.
And I do think the women, we have the power. Like we choose who we want to have sex with,
Correct.
right? So if I said I don't want to settle down, I want to
Be a hoe.
I want to be a player.
No.
I got a
Oh.
couple of men here or there
Right.
that I have sex with often. That's my choice.
It is a
Right?
choice, however.
So why aren't I a player? They don't know about each other.
why aren't you a
the same.
player?
I'm a player, right? Because that's what
No.
a man is.
No.
He's with different women.
No.
Probably don't know about
See,
each
women
other.
put a value on sex. Men don't put a value on
I've
sex.
chosen not to put a value on
No.
sex.
You're still going to put a value on it.
No, not necessarily.
Well, we're speaking in general terms, right? So the average woman, you'll hear her say things like, now,
No.
okay, listen, let me ask you this. How many times have you ever heard a man say, oh, if a woman wants my sex, she's going to have to. You don't hear that. Typically.
Because y'all are seeking it. We can.
Right.
I could walk out of here right now and have sex if I wanted to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You can't do that.
No, we have
Right.
to earn it. That is why it is that is why it's a skill for us. It's not a skill for you to do it.
It is a skill.
It is not, because you
I
can
know
walk
some
into
good players out
no,
there.
no, no. You can walk into any building
Correct.
and say, "I want to have sex." Raise your hands if you want to have sex with me,
Yes.
and you will have a hand go up. Whereas a man, we can't do that
But
for
does
the
that
most
make
part.
me a whore if I do that?
That makes you a whore.
It shouldn't make
No, it
me
makes
a
you-
whore if I choose to do that.
It makes you, what makes you a whore is because you are not conscious of the fact that there's no skill in
I
this.
am conscious of it.
Then that makes you a hoe.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that makes you a hoe.
It does not
because
make me a whore.
because you are, in essence, you have something that
Correct.
your group deems as valuable.
Yes.
Okay, and then if you go and do what is easy for you to do, which is to
Yes.
have sex,
Correct.
you have cheapened your own product.
Not necessarily.
How so? No.
No, you have to remember too. Just like a man, they go out and sleep.
Men
with
and women are not the same.
They're
We don't
not
even
that-
process things the same.
If I have chosen to go sleep with multiple men
Yes.
at one time,
You have a
that's
right to be a
I
hoe.
have that. I don't think I'm a hoe.
Okay, I know you don't.
I'm not-
I know a woman
I
in
get
that
the que-
situation
that's
wouldn't
the
think
question. Why?
Yes.
Why am I a whore? Because
Be-
I decided
because
to have more than
the serology of
partners.
it. It's not a number. It's not a number. See, a lot of women think that if it's
Because you just said, if I sleep with multiple men
well, when I say it's not a number,
at one time,
Right.
I'm assuming that's what a player is,
it
right?
could correct. It's multiple partners. However, not necessarily at the same time. Okay,
I may have one I'm not sleeping with. He just gave me a couple dollars.
right.
Willie Earl just, I go touch on
Break
his
you off.
leg. He break
Exactly.
me off a couple
Exactly.
dollars. Probably
You're doing
got
a whole
one who
whole
do-
like stuff. You're not necessarily a whole in,
Oh my
but a whole
God.
ish. I understand.
I am a businesswoman.
I-
I'm about my business.
okay.
Okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, and I need multiple streams of
income. Absolutely, I can appreciate
and
that.
multiple streams of dick.
I understand that. However,
So therefore,
because you want
I am a woman at
in
that
the
time.
business of hoeing. I understand. It's the oldest profession
I'm
in
not
the
a
world.
hoe. I am not a hoe.
No.
I
However,
get up. I think about this. I jotted it down. It's a skill to this. what I'm
there's no
doing.
skill to it for a woman.
So
a
why is
woman
it not a
having
skill?
be-
We're gonna have to
be-
agree to
because a
disagree on
woman
this one.
has no problem having a sexual encounter at all. Men marry who they want. Women sleep with who they want.
Uh-huh.
So for a man to go and get married, it's no task, because the average man can go and get married tomorrow. The average woman can find a sex partner tonight.
Yes.
Okay. So because it is so readily available for her, she has to put forth no effort in it. So that is
There is effort. Do you understand the effort
yes.
of
You
ensuring
walk
that they
by a
don't
man.
meet each other?
no.
No. So you
That's
think
the
it's
player part about
anyone
it. That's
that
the player
we're
part
picking
about
up. The skill is we've chosen, we picked, we understood these multiple
do you all
streams.
really choose well? Because some of these
Yes,
women
we
out
do.
here that are complaining about their baby daddies, they chose him.
Well, at that time.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
we ain't say they haven't. That's a different topic now.
Okay, yeah.
Who we
okay,
making
okay.
babies with?
Okay,
It's who
okay.
are we
I
sleeping
sure hope.
with,
Can you look down the
and
list,
we're
Phil,
not
and see if that question is on?
committed to-
Can we see if there's a baby daddy question
We're
somewhere?
not committed to these people. We're not
That's
committed.
hoe.
That's not a hoe.
That's hoe.
I call that
Okay,
business
so-
professional.
Okay. All right. Business
I'ma
professional.
stick to it.
So the reason why I say that she cannot be deemed a player is, one, there's no skill set to her having sex with somebody. Now, yes, it is a player if she's
She got to work out.
if
keep
she's
her
seeing
back
different guys.
strong.
Not necessarily, because she could look like whoa and still
No.
get a sexual partner. Absolutely. If you don't believe that, go to the beach and you'll look and you'll say, "Ooh, the Lord just be making any old thing. Look at that." And she still has a man.
And that's still
or
a
men,
business
or men. It could be a businesswoman. So I don't see it, and I don't see a man having multiple women as a player. I think you can be.
And no, because they whores.
You're a hoe as a man,
Mm-hmm.
and I will go on record and saying this: when a man is a hoe,
Mm-hmm.
there's a void in his life. He's using that
It could be a
hoishness.
void in my life too.
Absolutely.
I need to stop making this personal, but I am because
Well,
I know it's
yeah.
somebody out there feeling what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I'm speaking for them.
I can respect that.
Okay.
I can respect that.
It's
And
the same thing. I don't think it matters.
I
if you
definitely
go
think it
male or female. We
definitely
may have
matters.
to go to
I
the
don't think
next,
that
question.
a male as a player is acceptable any more than a female. I will agree with that.
Okay.
But I don't think that a woman and I you know what? That's fair. I'll say a man nor a woman. Either one, if they're hoeing, they hoeing.
They hoeing.
It's not a player. It's
They just
so
hoeing.
period. So next question, Phil.
I love this. I do have a question to ask you guys, though, if that's okay.
Here we
Yes.
go, Phil.
Have you guys heard this quote? before. It's called the master lock key method. Have you heard that?
No, if I have, I don't know
All
about
right,
that
so-
title.
If a key can open lots of locks, then it's a master key, right?
That's right.
But if a lock can be opened by any key,
Mm.
then it's a bad lock.
It's a bad lock.
You
That's a
can-
hole.
You guys can
That's a
use
whole
that-
lock.
You guys can use that analogy however you want.
That's a whole lock. Yeah.
Sound like a locksmith.
All right, second question.
Business
That's all you get out of it. A business opportunity. Locksmith. Okay.
All right, this one's getting a little juicy here.
Hmm.
So
Oh, that wasn't. Huh?
That wasn't juicy.
No,
okay.
this one's even more juicy.
Okay.
All right, in a threesome,
Mm.
are you supposed to have more fun with the other person rather than your mate?
Are you supposed to have more fun?
Or could you end up having more fun?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, do you look over and go, "God damn, I'm having more fun"?
Look, do you remember? Oh, my mate is here. Oh, let me slow down some.
I
Oh, my
think
bad.
that's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, well, now I would say no and yes. No, you're not supposed to because theoretically, you and your mate decided
enjoying it.
that we were going to do this, right? However, it's kind of like you get served some food and you don't know really what it's going to taste like at 1st,
Mhm.
and then you taste it and you're like, oh my God, this is good. Wow!
That's what it
Chicken
is.
sauce. Wow! Wow! Give me some more.
And she caught you going.
And caught me going there with the good food, and now you're mad later. Well, listen, I'm sorry. Listen,
I don't think you can't bring that into that room, like,
and not
that's
get not in
the-
your
yeah,
feelings. You
cannot
can't do
get in your
that.
feelings.
But it happens a lot, so I've heard.
I've heard
And
that
so
too.
I think that the answer, the question most mates would want to hear, no, you shouldn't have more fun with the other person. Well, that's not necessarily true. What's the point of bringing them in if you're not going to have more fun? Or not
Not-
not
just
necessarily
have
more fun.
fun. I
Have
think
fun,
just have
correct.
fun.
But you could end up having more fun because you have a routine with your regular person.
Yeah.
So now this new person, it just might be the new toy. It may not necessarily be better. It just may be
Yeah,
the
that's
new
a
toy.
hard question, I think.
So I would say that's situational,
yeah.
and that person would have to be confident. The original two, not the third party. The original two, one of those two would have to be confident in, their relationship, their sexual escapades with their mate when they
Yes.
bring a third party in. Because if you bring somebody in and they are more well endowed, or they know more tricks, or they, you may find
You're
yourself in a
bringing
bad
in
situation.
competition,
You're bringing in a competition.
but you can't look at it like that.
Look at it as like you're outsourcing.
Yeah.
For a few moments, you're going to outsource and,
So-
and carry on.
You better step your game up if you're gonna bring somebody else in that room.
Or look, bring a third person in that you know is worse.
And if you're not having fun, keep that to yourself.
Bring in a third
'Cause I'm
person
having a good
that
old
you
time.
know is worse than you or your mate. Hey, you win. It's a win. It makes
Now
you look
both of
good.
y'all mad.
Yeah, that's
Who
right.
brought her?
Who brought her? Yeah, that was a
brought her?
horrible setup. And let me say this for the record. I know this is not the question, but maybe they might want to have a part
You
B.
sure you want to put this on the record?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
Serotology.
Mm.
When they speak of threesome, a threesome is all three individuals enjoying one another.
Okay.
It can be 2 women, 1 man,
Mhm.
2 men, 2 women, 1 man, 2 men, 1 woman.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, if the 2 men are not engaging in sexual relationships with each other, that's a train. Let me just go ahead and say that. That's a train. Because in a threesome, everybody
Everyone
is
is-
enjoying
yes.
one another. Now, I'm not proposing it go either way. I'm just telling you, serotology is
Okay.
if it's 2 individuals and they don't interact.
So if I'm with 2 men, I look
If
over.
you're with 2 men and they never
and
touch,
they never touching nothing.
they're running.
I just got
choo
hold
choo,
out.
choo choo. Not a
I just-
hoe. That's
am I a
player.
slut?
That's a business move.
Should I feel like a slut at that moment?
Not necessarily. Depends how the whole transaction
I know what
went
I
on.
am. No longer a businesswoman.
You're no longer a businesswoman there.
Not at that time. I am not. I'm a conductor. Apparently.
Yeah, you are definitely a train conductor.
Yeah.
You might even be the
Wow.
caboose.
Next
So we have to
question.
see. All right. So next question, Phil.
All right. This has to do with finances here. So,
Finances.
do I have to seek a credit repair person, or can I do it myself?
No, you don't have to. Now, I have done some research on credit repair for
Okay.
some years. You do not have to hire someone else, but it's just like anything else. You have to know yourself to know, are you going to do the actual work to really understand the credit game because it is tricky. It's convoluted, and if you don't even know how to get 1 and 1 to make 2, you probably are not going to understand. Okay, if I go and buy something, it's going to hit my credit.
Yeah.
And if I have an inquiry, well, what is an inquiry on my credit? Is that going to, is that going to take away? Is that going to add? When do I need to buy? When do I not, refrain from buying and things of that nature? So if you don't know, I have a full understanding of credit, it's worth hiring someone. Now, when they go to talk about changing your social security number and all that kind of stuff, stay away from that. Yeah, stay away from that because now you're playing with those 3 letters that you don't want to deal with, I, R, and S. So you really don't want to bother that. Yeah,
I think there's a lot of information out there, but I think it comes down to discipline.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But the information is out there for you.
Correct.
Sometimes you do just need to bring in an expert.
Correct.
To help you
Correct. So it's situational.
I think so.
Okay, so that answer is
but
situational.
most likely, if you're in that situation, you probably need some help. You probably need to go to someone.
If you're asking, do you need help?
Yeah. To help you, at least give you that foundation. Because sometimes I don't need you to
do it
meet every week.
Right.
I just may need you just have a
Give me a map.
conversation and just help me map this out.
Correct. Yeah.
And maybe do a check in here or there to make sure I'm on track. But
Correct. But the important thing is also,
you go on social media and
you can go to YouTube
somebody
University
going live and telling you, I can write this letter
Absolutely.
and get this off your credit. You gotta be mindful of that stuff.
Absolutely. And then you have
so
to
watch out for some of those people.
Correct.
And make sure they're legit because you can find. I see it all the time. I don't know if they just
Absolutely.
Siri think I need it, but
and everything
they
is
pop up on my
like you said, there's an element of scams.
Yeah.
Scammers. So you have to be mindful because you're going to have to, if you do seek a professional, you're going to have to give them your personal information. So you need to be mindful of that before you just jump out there and grab someone. You need to make sure that you've done your homework on whoever you're hiring, things of that nature.
For me, I went online, looked up some tools. I like spreadsheets, and
Right.
I just, I want to pay this off. How should I do it? And
I like
went with
spreadsheets,
that.
but my problem is my eyesight.
And I set up.
My eyesight is not a friend of spreadsheets.
Really?
So, no. And then wearing trifocals, you have to look at the correct part of the lens in order to see that.
I need you to seek professional
So-
help. And I don't know if that's a credit. I think that's called an eye doctor.
I've been an eye doctor.
So,
Yeah, I have been an eye doctor.
But no,
So-
for me, that's what I did. I went when I made
Professional help.
that choice. No, I didn't go get. I went and looked up the tools. and,
Okay.
okay, I need to get this
Right,
mapped out.
right,
Yeah.
And to your point, I started on my own, and then once I got so far down the road, then I checked in with a professional just to make sure
You're
I'm
on the
doing
right
it
track.
right, on the right track. And they say, okay, yeah, you're doing, keep going where you're
That's
going.
good. Okay.
And so, I don't profess to be a
Me neither.
professional at it, but I know enough to be dangerous and to hold a conversation about it. Okay.
All right, good.
All right, Phil, next question.
All right, this also has to do with finances here. So, is it okay for the man to sacrifice and save money, or should the married couple do it together?
I don't
Is the
understand.
man, I'm assuming this is a married couple, and they're asking, is it okay for him to do all the sacrificing and saving, or should they do it as a couple? Well, to me, that's almost like I'm not insulting you, Sir Rodologist, but to me, well, no, you know what? I just thought of this. I was going to say, as a married couple, of course you should do it together. However, every marriage is different.
Yeah.
It depends on one's understanding of finances. It depends on how they do their finances in their household,
Yeah.
because Mr. Sir Rod and I, we have a joint, and then we have our two separates.
Yes.
And so, but even the separates are an agreed upon amount.
Okay.
You know, so therefore everyone knows, there's transparency there. But if we're getting ready to make a big purchase, then we're going to sit down and say, okay, this is what we want to do now, and we'll make a plan for that.
Okay.
So I would think that
But when you make that plan, is it I'm going to be putting the money in savings and she's not? Or is it
it depends.
both
Most
of you,
times,
like you're responsible for X amount, I'm going to be responsible for X amount? Or is it just going to
it depends. That depends. I'll give you an example. If it is a big purchase, say a car,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and she may have one income. I may have 3 or 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there doesn't make any sense to say, okay, you stop eating your lunch at, the Waffle House on Wednesdays and start putting that money over into savings if I have more income. So that's why I say it's all situational. I think that as long as you all have an agreement of how the money is going to go there, then you are both contributing. Not necessarily meaning both people are
It's about
actually paying the money.
communication, I think.
It's the communication of it to whether or not you're contributing.
You may say, I'm going to be responsible for the bills.
Depending on what, right.
And you use your check a portion
To do the
majority
saving.
to do the savings.
Right. Depends on what.
And that is a great idea as well.
Correct.
Now
correct.
we're learning how to live off of one income.
Absolutely.
Right?
Which is not a bad thing
Yep.
at all anyway, because
So-
anything could happen, especially in this market.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think you're right. It depends. Now,
it just
but it
depends.
all comes down to a conversation.
It,
Don't
it has to be a conversation.
don't just spending your money and assuming the other one should be saving because they make more.
Because
So why
if
am
the
I saving my
man,
money if you make more?
because it could also, to your point, create resentment.
Yeah.
If the man is saying, hey, every time we get into a bind or we want to buy something or we want to do something, I have to come up with a plan to get us out of it. And you're just riding along for the fun. Right?
Exactly.
So to your point, we have to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation of, hey, what is our plan? What are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to save up money for the kids' Christmas. Okay. How do you anticipate? How much do you want to spend on that? Well, I want to spend $1,200. Well, how many children do we have? Why do we need to spend that? For the children's Christmas. It's all a conversation.
Yeah.
So-
Because you'll look up and now you mad. Or
Correct.
you're wondering, well, who gonna say who? How we gonna do
And
this?
there was never a conversation about it. Yeah,
Correct.
There was never a
Correct.
conversation
So it
about
has
it.
to come to that. It really does.
Okay. Next question, Phil.
All right. Okay. All right. So this is a question for, I guess, you and me, right? Communication.
Good.
Why are men so bad at it?
Why?
Are men so bad? Are they?
I don't know. I ain't asked the question.
Black men don't cheat. Men are not bad with communication. That's my story. I'm
I
sticking
think
to
y'all
it.
just communicate differently.
We communicate differently, as well as because this is serotology. I have to always preference that. We view things differently. And so because men and women view things differently, to women, a man may not be communicating because he's not expressing it as heartfelt as she may. How's your day today? Fine. She's waiting on him to say, oh, it was great. I spoke with my boss earlier today, and they talked about giving me a raise. And then I went down to the water cooler, and they said, we're not doing all of that. We're not doing all of that because
But why not?
we don't feel that.
Y'all don't get
What we feel
much
is-
detail.
No, the job was fine. That's what we felt.
But you know what? Y'all will say the job was fine, and then like an hour or so later, guess what they did at work? I'm like,
Absolutely.
now you want to talk about
Because
work?
that thought came from somewhere that else. Because logically, we were just
So
answering
now
your
we
question.
thinking, I don't want to hear that now.
But here's the flip side. On that, we would feel like if we just, how's work? And we just dropped everything on you,
Yeah.
we feel we're dumping on you.
Okay.
We're fixers. We're not trying to give you something because we've already fixed the problem.
I'm speaking to the fact of work was fine.
Work was fine.
Then an hour later,
Yes.
guess what happened at work?
Guess what? Charlie is no longer at the job anymore because we may have seen something on TV that sparked that thought.
Okay.
And then we wanted to share it with you. But instead of worrying, why didn't we put it on the front end? Be appreciative that we communicated it with you. And see, that's the problem. You all want us to communicate as you all do. Because again, Mrs. Surratt, I can say, what are we going to have for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking earlier about some ribs, but then I had ribs at lunch today, and then I was talking to my mom, and she was saying about roast beef, and I was thinking, wow, I haven't had roast beef in a long time. But then the kids don't like roast beef, and I get this long, drawn-out thing. And I thought when I heard, well, I was thinking ribs. Oh, surely it's ribs. After we finished going around the mulberry bush,
Went to Popeyes.
so I don't know what we're
Chicken.
going to. I don't know what we're going to have for dinner. That we get back to. Well, I don't know what we're going to have for dinner. What? You took me 5 minutes into a conversation to tell me you don't know.
Is that why when we do say I don't know, what do you want?
It drives us crazy.
You don't know because you don't know.
No, we may know what we want to eat. We know that if we say, I want, and this is no plug, I won't even say the name. I want barbecue from XYZ.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't feel like barbecue. We know that's your
Well,
answer.
Why?
No,
it
we-
may not be the answer. It may be. Oh, I
We
didn't
have a
think
proven
about
track
that.
record with you. Just like this question is, we don't communicate. We know that you
What
all
do you say, Phil?
are
Since you said it's for
indecisive.
you, what do you think, Phil?
Well, I think men are direct, and I think women interpret our answers differently than what we said.
totally different.
So when we do say something, you guys fixate or hyper focus on what we actually
Yes.
didn't say. And
Yeah.
then the communication gets broken down because you don't really listen to what we just said.
And then we get frustrated because you're telling us how you feel. We can't argue that point because you do feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
Feelings and facts are not the same though, right?
Okay.
As Coach Hope so gladly,
Yeah.
told us the other week. However, we know that this is what we want to do. This is
Mhm.
what we don't want to do. Okay. If we don't know yet, we probably won't say anything. We might be
Oh,
thinking
that
about
drives me crazy.
it. We probably won't say anything
I'd
yet.
rather for you to say.
You want us
"I'll
to
get
talk it
back
out.
to you."
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Not even talk it out. Say, let me think about that, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Or don't just not say anything and try to go off something else, and then 3 days later, I was thinking about what you asked me, Mr. Gestori. I hate that.
Yeah.
Tell me I need time to think about that. That's a
Okay.
deep question.
Okay.
Or I don't have an answer
Answer
for
for
you
that.
today.
Right. Right.
I respect that more because now I'm not going to think about what that pause
Or you're ignoring. Oh,
are you are
because
thinking you're ignoring me.
you
'Cause
won't.
now my
You won't
mind
plug in.
going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I don't have an answer for you today.
right, then you know.
Then I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna
Okay.
get back to you.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now the way
Okay.
my mind works, I may forget I asked you.
so now we got a
So-
bigger
So
problem.
not knowing it, you could be off the hook already because I don't forgot. And then when you start talking about it,
oh
you
yeah,
did.
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
did ask you that, huh?
You
And
know?
you're just getting back with me. Now you have the
I
audacity
mean,
to
I
come back with
remember,
that.
like, wow, he must know I was thinking about that.
Right.
But no, for real, it's I'm not gonna answer you, or
Sure.
you may ignore it, or I don't know. Just give us that quick. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
type
not
of
that we
thing.
don't communicate. Again, we
It's
see
just,
things
if you
differently.
Need time, say I need some time to think about that.
Well, we probably have had some experience when we
Mm-mm.
say that.
No.
I need some time to think about that. Well, what do you need time for? Because we have to do so and so. Or this needs to
Well,
happen at this
There
particular
are
time.
times where we need an answer, but I think when you're having that deep conversation or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just to say I don't know, right? I respect that more because you're, I guess, vulnerable at that time and admit that I can't
Now,
give you an answer.
now, and I've had this conversation with some
But this
guy
is
friends
what,
of mine
20 years
in
of
the
marriage,
barbershop.
too.
Right. But some friends of mine in the barbershop, we were stating that it almost annoys us when our women or wives say, "Well, I don't know," because we're logical thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue to do the same thing over and over and over, you should have figured out by now why you do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know why you're doing it, then stop doing it. Especially if we've told you, I don't like when you do that, or that bothers me. Well, why do
Yeah.
you do that? Oh, I don't know. So it's I don't know that I agree that men don't communicate. I think that
I do agree we communicate differently,
we totally.
but I think
So I
you,
think
you know your partner. But if you're new in the relationship,
correct.
sometimes just saying I don't know, or
Or
let
ask them,
me,
how do you communicate?
like yeah,
How
like,
do you communicate? Because what I'm getting from you is I'm getting that you're stonewalling or you're ignoring me or avoiding or
'cause
whatever.
sometimes we're just talking to talk. We're not looking for you to fix it.
Oh yeah, well we don't know that always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I stop and say that because I
Absolutely.
can hear the fixing
Absolutely,
starting.
absolutely, absolutely.
do this,
Yeah.
you may
I've
wanna-
been trained.
Oh,
Yeah,
hold on, baby.
I've been trained in that.
Hold on, baby.
Yeah,
I'm not
because I'll
asking you
start
to
off
fix
fixing.
it.
That's right.
I just need you to listen
Oh,
today.
oh, okay.
And then that becomes, now I gotta listen.
Yes,
Yes, please. I just need someone to listen.
right. But
Um,
now be mindful. This is for all the men in the world. That is a challenge for us
to just listen.
because our natural instinct
fix it,
is
yeah.
to fix it, especially for our woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you all say, can you just listen? We're thinking, you don't have a girlfriend you can call? Your mama's not available? I mean, you ain't got nobody you can
Yeah,
talk to?
I get that.
So I'm just saying that be mindful, just
When
like
I
you all.
said it, I know. When I say it, I know
Yeah,
that's what he's
Just like
thinking.
you all want us to just listen. We want you all to just.
And when y'all talking to y'all fellas and we hear something, we like, why they ain't tell us that? They ain't tell us a story like that.
What I want you to do is stay out of my personal business, okay? Because again, when you're talking to your dudes, there's a different energy there.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's a different energy there, right? You're not. I'm not thinking.
I just leave the room. I think
Yeah.
because when I'm talking to my girlfriends,
Absolutely, we leave the
He
room.
leaves the room.
Absolutely, we don't want to hear all
so
that.
yeah,
We don't want to hear that. Yeah,
No.
because you're
Because at the end of the day, once we hang up, guess what?
exactly. But your voices go up so high anyway. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna
Yeah.
have to wait and get this on the second version because right now
Okay.
your voice is too high. But when I'm talking to my dudes, I never think about, oh, he's gonna say this or he may say this, so I need to be prepared to say this because he's gonna say
I
that.
know. And then when y'all come back with a story and can't give details, that bothers me. Ooh, that bothers me. Why they gonna do that? Did they go to the hospital?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
What they went to the hospital
Yeah.
for?
That-
They
yeah,
was sick?
that's Mrs. Surratt.
So how long were they
I
in
don't
the
know.
hospital?
I don't ask questions.
So all you know is his
I
wife
took
went
the-
to the hospital.
That's it. That's what he told me. That's what I went with. So I'm telling you.
So you didn't ask why he went to
I
took
did
her
not.
to the hospital?
That was none of my business. He didn't share that with me. That's not my
You
business.
didn't ask?
That's not my business. I don't ask
So
people
why
their
did he
personal
bring
business
it up if he didn't want you to know?
because he wanted me to know she went to the
I'm
hospital.
gonna have to call her and see what's going on.
There you
'cause
go.
it's clearly.
And then this is what we'll say. And let me know.
Golly.
And let me know if there's anything we need to do or something we can do to
You
help
didn't
out.
ask no follow-up
None.
questions.
Mrs. Surratt asks me that all the time. She'll say to me, well, what happened? Well, when did they? And
Yes.
I don't know. They called. What they called you and told you? Okay.
I hate.
I took what they gave me, and that was it. I don't ask questions.
Okay, well then this is a normal thing.
That's a normal thing for me.
Next question.
All right, so we all have friends. Is it okay? This is a two-parter. Is it okay to have platonic friends with the other sex, or is it okay to have a friendship with a previous lover? Can you be friends?
I'll let you.
no, no.
So, the first question is, can you be platonic friends, male and female? Yes. My answer is yes. I think that it definitely takes open transparency. You should not have friends that your mate does not know. And I don't mean after you get in a serious relationship. You should have already told, when you were dating and you knew it became serious, or even probably before it became serious, you should have asked the question, hey, how do you feel about opposite sex friends?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're dating someone and they say, well, I don't believe in it. Okay, well, that might be the time for you all to go your separate ways. But if they say, oh, yeah, I definitely agree with it, then I think that's when you then follow up with that second part of the question. Do you mean platonic as in never had any interest with one another? Or you dated, might even, as this culture calls it, hooked up, had sex, and now we become friends?
Wait a minute. I got a question. Is this friend single?
I don't know. That's
no,
not in
I'm
the
not
question.
doing that.
What?
My husband doesn't need single.
But what if
female
the female?
friends.
What if the female friend was prior to you? That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's a conversation. So because if he was friends with, say, someone in
No.
high school, right, or college,
Mm-mm.
and they were friends, and then you
No.
all start dating,
Uh-uh.
so he's supposed to now cut off his friends?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Just Tori. That is so selfish.
Okay.
And so it's so boxed in because he had a whole life before you.
Oh.
He had a life before you.
And
I
now
know
he
in
has a
your
new
I
life
know in
with
your
me.
world, you're now the whole world.
I don't like the
life.
no. I don't like the.
And what does being single have to do with it? Because you
I
do
think
know
it's a
married
big
people
thing.
that cheat, right?
No, I know.
Oh, okay. I was
But
just saying you can be married and cheat.
I'm just saying. I think no. I don't. No.
What does the singleness have to do with it?
That's a lot more.
Not necessarily, because some people married are more motivated than cheat than they are
because
single.
if it's a couple, now we're couples. We're probably all friends.
Not necessarily, because Just Tori does
However-
not mix and mingle with every female.
sure
So
don't.
let's not.
But the point is, no. Would I have a problem with my husband being friends with a single person? Because not, I probably would.
Because let me ask you this question then. Is that based from the point of where you are now, that it's never happened? He didn't have female friends prior to you all? So you're maybe looking at it like if it was to go on today?
No, I know I would have a problem with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm coming from the position of if, like when I married, I already had single friends, single and married female friends
Yeah.
that I've been friends with for 30 plus years. Okay, some 40 years that were already there by the time my wife came in.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm supposed to take a 30-year friendship and now say, "Oh, I'm married. You're no more." That friendship has become family to me. So however, I will say this: I do not in any capacity have a friend that they've liked me or I've liked them, because I don't believe you can be platonic friends that way. Platonic friends mean I've never had interest in you, you've never had interest in me. We don't make flirtatious jokes. We don't,
So
touch a
that's
feeling.
the thing. Your friends were female friends are people you weren't interested in. As far as you
In
know,
any
they
capacity.
weren't interested in you.
In any capacity. And if they were to tell me today they were interested in me, they'd no longer be my friend.
Okay.
They'd no longer be my friend, because friendship to me is different than a relationship. And I don't need to commingle the two.
Like, I don't have a need to be friends with no.
But those are new friends.
And it depends too how you define a friend.
Right. And see,
But I
this
think
is what
a
I'm
person
saying.
that's close to me,
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't. Out of that respect for my husband, I think that
Now,
will-
I wouldn't start a friendship.
it could be cool.
I don't
and
need it
cordial,
now.
but no.
Right.
no.
But all my friendships are years, decades. I don't mean weeks. So, but what I did do when I started dating was to introduce my wife to every platonic friend I had, female friend, because I
And
wanted.
how was that?
It was actually cool. I mean, there was no problem because I have grown friends. I don't have friends who are catty or
Yeah, see, we
immature.
been married for a while, so we were young. So
Correct.
I
So
can
that would have been
imagine,
different,
And
right.
we didn't bring that into
Absolutely.
friends like that. But I can only imagine, like you said, you had 30-year.
They were 30-year friendships. So we were in our 40s when I'm introducing them to my
In
wife.
your situation, I probably look at it different, but I think where we are, no.
Absolutely. And,
Nah.
and like going forward
Who's
now.
this woman?
Yeah, who this woman? Hopper,
Yeah,
who this
no.
woman? So we don't, like now, I wouldn't walk up to my wife and say, "Hey, let me introduce you to my new friend, Just Tori." That's not going to fly, okay? But when we were dating, I asked her, "Do you have any male friends?" She told me no. I said, "Well, okay, let me let you know. I do have female friends. They don't change out. These people have been the same people consistently
Okay.
through life's ups, downs, ebbs, and flows. These are the same people that if I have a family gathering, they're going to more than likely be there anyway.
So now, are you still friends with people you did sleep with and your exes?
We're not friends. We're not friends. I mean, I
And
know
are you
them.
okay with her being friends? Or
We made
sleeping
an
too?
agreement that we don't do that. You can speak to them if you see them somewhere. "Hey, how
Yeah.
you doing?" Sure. But as far as like Facebook friends or hanging out, no.
Not even Facebook friends.
Why do you need a front row seat to my life?
Okay, so did y'all go and look at each other's pages and
We
clear
didn't
out
look
your
at.
exes, or
I'm
you
not.
already-
I don't need all that.
just
That's too much
trusted that he
information.
wasn't
That's
following
too
her.
much information for me.
Okay.
I don't. I know what you tell me until you show me differently. Okay. Now, when you show me differently, then of course that overrides what you told me.
Mhm.
But I don't get into the, well, let me see. And I'm not the one who's, if you tell me you made it home at 8, you got home at 8.
Okay.
You told me you're at work, you're at work. Now, when I find out differently, then we'll deal with it differently. But I don't think that I need to see my ex's mother died or brother sick. Or I don't need to know all that.
Okay.
I don't need. If I see you at the store, hi, hey.
We need to have a show about that Facebook thing. A lot of people are meeting people on Facebook.
yeah, and reconnecting and hooking up and all that.
hooking
We'll
up,
we'll definitely have to get into
reconnecting,
that.
And then you can't follow certain people, and it'll be a down home fight.
Yeah.
It's Facebook, guys.
We got another question, Phil?
We sure do. We're still speaking about friends here. So, what do you do if you have a possessive friend that doesn't want you to hang with your other friends?
Did my friend email this? Huh? Look in the camera, all 4 of y'all. 4 of y'all. Y'all know who you are.
3. But
I
carry
got
on.
4.
You do
Keep
have
telling you I have.
well, okay. All right. 3.
Okay?
All right. Carry
I
on.
have 4, maybe 5.
Okay. Oh, now come on. Come on now. 5 is a stretch. So let us say, let's hear from you, Just Tori.
What's the question again?
Do you have any possessive friends that don't want you to hang with your other friends?
No, do I? No.
Well, what do you do if you do?
It's a general
If
question.
I think it's me.
It's
I'm
a
the
general
progressive. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's me.
You.
It's me. Okay.
Yeah.
real quick, it's me.
Yeah.
So whenever they're talking to me and bring up my friend, I go, "Who is this person that you just brought up?" And I know I'm 40 plus.
Wait now. Say that again now.
I was with my friend.
Oh, the other they can't.
Who's this friend you speaking of?
Other than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm your friend.
Yeah.
They're just
All
somebody
my
you're hanging
friends
with.
only got a couple of friends in them.
And you're them.
And I need to know who them other friends are.
But they all come behind you.
They could have came before me. But they
No,
need
I'm
to
saying
know
as
none's
far
coming
as
after.
far as ranking.
None's coming after.
Yeah, you're
Right.
the friend.
Yes.
So I think
And don't start telling about y'all fun times you had with your other friends. I don't
So
wanna
can
hear
they
that.
invite you to hang with them?
They can, but please don't.
See, this is why I say Just Tori is not the average female. So when you
I'm
write in,
good.
be mindful of that. Don't say, "Oh, I'm with Tori." Be
'Cause
mindful.
it's too much pressure.
It's too much. Well, that's
It's pressure for
that's
me.
a woman thing, though. That's a
Yeah.
woman thing because, like guys, I'm sitting here now trying to think. I've got guy friends, and I don't know their other friends.
Why do we need to know each
I don't-
other?
No, I know they have other
I have
friends.
a friend who introduced me to one of her old friends, and I can look in her eyes, and my eyes be looking like, I don't need to really know you,
And
ma'am.
it was mutual.
Yeah.
It was mutual. They're like,
was,
I don't
"Hey,
want to
how
know
you
you either.
doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. Why do we need to know each other? Maybe she was thinking all of you all would be friends together.
No, because I always
Become
say that to when I realize you are now my friend, I let them know. Like,
Oh.
yeah, it's some rules.
It's a two. There's
yeah.
no.
And they'll say that, just to let you know, you may see something on Facebook. And then they call me and then we
They
have a
tell you ahead of
conversation.
time. Wow.
Yeah.
So are you like I'm not that possessive friend. I'm
Well,
not.
if you wanna
Do
call
your
it
thing.
possessive,
Yeah,
I just call
that's
it
what-
setting down some rules.
Okay, and boundaries. Yeah, that's
So
usually
boundaries.
what what
That's
they
it.
call it. Yeah,
I like
that's
to
the new
set
word
friendship
nowadays.
boundaries.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
that's what I do.
possessive. It's possessive.
And I
So-
love all four of y'all.
So with the possessive friends,
It's four. Yeah.
I think that you have to say to them, "Listen, I'm a whole person.
Oh.
You know, you can't control who I
Is it
hang with." A friend.
control?
Absolutely, it's controlling. It's controlling, and I'm not going to say the N word that everyone likes to say, but it is definitely controlling, and it is also a level of insecurity.
It probably
It's
is.
a level of insecurity
Yeah.
because it's like, give me my time, my attention. Well, how is it your time if the person is hanging out with somebody else?
You can hang out with your other friends.
Just don't tell you about it.
I don't need to hear about it. You're right.
They're on Facebook though. They're going live.
Why is y'all going live? You don't go live when you with me. Probably because I don't like that.
Probably because you don't like
But
that.
that's not, the thing
Right.
is,
Mhm.
no, I don't need to hear about your other friends. They don't.
Really?
They always joke, "Who are these other three people you
Right.
speaketh of?"
Right. Yeah.
Like, them three people.
Yeah. The
All
Mr.
four
Three
of 'em.
People.
They be like, "Who are these three
Yeah.
people you always talk about?"
I have more than 3 friends.
Mhm.
I mean that I can count on in the midnight hour. However, my friends have friends. And I'm the friend who knows a lot of people, but I'm real cool with being by myself. I'm real cool with being alone. I'm real
Not
cool.
Sir Rod.
I'm
Sir
real
Rod,
cool.
I've been with you.
I know this, and I like to be all full throttle when
Oh,
I'm
my.
out. But as far as do I have to be on every scene? I'm not the one that if you have a house party and you post it on Facebook, you don't have to call me and say, "Hey, just letting you know, I had a party and you weren't invited, so I just wanted to call you." Listen, I don't pay your bills. I don't know how.
So a close friend. Has
I don't know
a
how your
party,
guest list is going. I don't know anything.
and you see it on Facebook.
A close
You're
friend.
not gonna feel some. We talking about close friends.
A close
We
friend,
talking
then
about close
I'm
friends.
gonna wait till the party's
When
over.
I speak of my 4 friends, I got
Those
more
are-
than 4 friends, right?
no, you
but
don't,
I have
but okay.
four close friends.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that.
That when I see something, I'm like, oh,
Yes,
you know.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I have
I would feel some type of way.
absolutely. I feel that way about close friends and certain relatives.
Oh yeah.
because I have a certain relative who had surgery and I did not know it, and so I can't wait to see them to say, hold
No,
up,
they don't.
swole
They don't
up.
want to bother you. That's what they say. I didn't want to bother you.
How is it a bother? If nothing else, I can pray for
Yeah.
you. If nothing else, I can bring you a meal to eat or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, to your point, if it's
I
a
tell my
close
cousins
friend,
to bother me all the time.
I-
I was gonna
absolutely.
ask to borrow no money.
absolutely. Hello. Hello. But I
But
don't
no.
I don't have a problem with friends. I don't like a possessive friend that feels like, well,
No,
why
I'm
are
not
you
that
hanging with
bad.
them? But I do expect my friends to keep me abreast of what's happening in their life.
Yeah.
Don't let me hear about it somewhere else. Oh,
Oh yeah.
I've been sick for 3 weeks. Why are you just telling me? You know, that type of
I
thing.
had a friend like that.
That filled you in at the last moment.
Yeah.
Right.
And it
Yeah.
bothered me.
Yeah. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with
And
that.
we had to have a serious conversation.
And I am that friend that will pull you to the side to have a
Yeah.
serious, hey, let me talk
And
to
when I have
someone.
that conversation, we should still be friends.
We should still
Because
be
I've
friends.
had a serious conversation
Right.
with a friend, and then we weren't friends after.
And why
I
not?
was like,
yeah.
then we weren't really.
We weren't really friends because I'm not going
I
to be
should be
rude. I'm
able-
not going to be
yeah,
crass,
like we
but I'm
should.
going to be direct. And a lot of people confuse being direct. You know, you being direct with being rude. It's not being rude. It's I have a problem with what you did. Let me talk to you for a second.
Mhm.
We can hash it out. You can tell me, well, I don't have a problem. I meant to do it. We can go back and forth. We can even agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I know going forward, I know how you operate.
Exactly.
I know what I'm dealing with. But I don't believe that we should fall out and just stop being friends, you know.
Cool.
Phil, do we have another question?
We have reached the end.
All
We
right.
have reached the end.
I think I learned
And
a
I
lot about
do
myself
have
today.
a lot of friends.
Okay. Carry on, Phil. You learned a lot about
I
yourself?
think I learned a lot about myself today.
So you're a whole player? I mean, what'd you learn?
Okay, so I think so. I am the
Don't do it,
possessive
Phil.
Oh,
friend.
You are the possessive friend.
I don't
See?
communicate well, and I probably would smash all of my girlfriends, all my lady friends. And I don't like any of my friends' friends.
Well,
I
see,
think Phil wrote the questions.
now we know where the questions came from,
We
right?
thinking the people email, man. I was wondering, I'm sounding so didn't sound right.
Did
That
sound
was
right.
Phil.
So we can have more questions because Phil has already taken care of all those at info at
Way to go,
thesirrodShow.com.
Phil.
We want to make sure that you get plugged into the Sir Rod Show. We want you to go over to Patreon and become a Sir Rodologist. Any contribution that you give generously, we would greatly appreciate it. Notice I said generously that you give. You can follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Please,
Definitely
please
go to
go to
YouTube.
YouTube.
Like, subscribe, follow, and hit that little like button on YouTube because that's important.
Yes.
We really want to grow this show when we can't do it without you.
All right.
So until the next conversation, be blessed. Yeah.